Hello. Good evening or good afternoon, wherever you're at. Najumu here, and we're back once again with TYRION Cuthbert, attorney of the Arcane. So a little bit of a recap from what happened last time. We managed to finish the first case, and now we are starting case 2. This time, we're at the library in the Mage school, and we met a few of the students. Look a little bit eccentric, and we've also met the headmaster, who unfortunately is the victim in this case so far. So they managed to close off the entire school, and now it's up to us, basically Tyrion and Celeste, to investigate and see who is responsible for killing the headmaster. We'll have to wait and see, because we're now going to be starting the investigation phase in a little bit. Also, Rayquaza, welcome as usual. You're doing well. Alright, now let's start. Continue episode 2. Oh yeah, I forgot that the nervous kid at the beginning that we saw at the beginning of the chapter, he was arrested. Even though he's pretty much not the person who committed the murder, because of course he was with Tyrion and Celeste. But police needed to find someone, so they managed to capture him instead. It's been a few hours since Wallace was arrested. You and Celeste were with him during the lockdown, so the Inquisition had to take your statements. But the more they questioned you, the more you could tell that they had doubts about your testimony. You will need to do more if you want to establish an alibi for Wallace. That took longer than I expected. We've already lost a lot of time talking to the Inquisition, but we should be free to roam around now. Where should we go first? The crime scene sounds like a good start. We still need to figure out what actually happened. Ruby said that the body was found in Lecture Hall 2B. It's in the west wing of the school. Alright, that seems like a good place to start. Okay, so we can actually talk to her a little bit. I hope Wallace is okay. He looked really scared when Commander White arrested him. Don't worry, we'll find out what really happened. But first, you need to inspect the crime scene. Now, where should we go next? First thing we need to do is find out exactly what happened. Miss Timora said that the body was found in Lecture Hall 2B. We should start our investigation there. Alright, so let's move. Let's go to 2B. Hey, stop right there! As you try to enter the classroom, you stop by one of the Inquisition Knights. I'm the defense attorney for the accused. We have the right to investigate the crime scene. Yeah, from what I've heard, the kid doesn't have an attorney yet. Right. Haven't been able to talk to Wallace about that yet. It's quite alright. Let them in. Lady Steelwind? Do not call me that. While you work under me, you will address me as Prosecutor Steelwind. Yes, Prosecutor Steelwind. Ah, what is that smell? As you enter the classroom, you find yourself inhaling a sour and rancid odor. The stench is so overwhelming that your eyes begin to tear up. Don't worry, you'll eventually get used to the smell. What are you even doing here, Steelwind? I'm here to coordinate the investigation. You look around the crime scene. There isn't a single Inquisition Knight in the room. Isn't that the Inquisition's job? Due to the circumstances, I've decided to handle the case personally. Well, since we got you here, can we ask you some questions about what happened? Can I assume you're planning to defend this case? That would make you my opponent. What do I gain from helping you? Right. However, I would be willing to answer your questions, but only if you answer some of mine as well. Oh, okay. Could she possibly want to ask you? Alright, let's talk. Questions for us. Miss McCoy, it's my understanding that you were adopted. Do you happen to know who your birth parents are? Hey! Isn't that too personal of a question? You agreed to answer my questions, didn't you? But I didn't think you meant... It's fine, Tyrion. I'm fine with answering if it helps Wallace. I don't know who my birth parents are. I never tried looking for them. I see. If I recall correctly, your spell compendium only contained one spell. Considering your upbringing, how did you learn Mage Blade in the first place? Bought a scroll from a merchant a few years ago. It had Mage Blade spell formula on it. But I know more than one spell now. I actually just learned a few spells today. I'm sorry, spells? As in plural? How long did it take you to learn these spells? A few hours, I think. She learned multiple spell formulas within a few hours? What was that just now? I see. Well, I think that's all I need to ask for now. Okay. She's sharing information about the investigation for that? Why is she so interested in Celeste all of a sudden? Alright, let's ask about the rancid smell. Ah, I can't take it anymore. The smell is driving me crazy. What is that? From what I understand, there was a bit of an accident a few days ago. It happened during one of the classes that the headmaster was teaching. He misread the instructions for an alchemy experiment, and as a result, he accidentally produced this rancid-smelling vapor. Vapor? It's not poisonous, is it? Of course not. Wouldn't be standing here if it were. It's just extremely unpleasant to the senses. Foul classroom smell. Okay. We added that to the notes. Yeah, probably gonna be useful later. Let's talk about the murder. Do you know what happened here, Steelwind? Well, it all began when the City Watch received a call from the Academy. Supposedly, there was an attack on campus grounds and the entire building was put on lockdown. The City Watch set up a perimeter around the building while they waited for the system to deactivate. What? couldn't the Academy have let them in once the scene was secure? I'm not sure about the specifics, but supposedly the lockdown can't be shut down manually. You'll have to ask one of the Academy's admins if you want to know more. Anyways, you two were also present during the lockdown. Am I correct? Did either of you see anything suspicious? No, but we actually met the professor that morning. She was still alive then. I see. That does match with the accounts from our other witnesses. You have any idea where she went after she left the library? The headmaster gave us express permission to be here. If you have an issue with that, then take it up with him. I'll have you know that I was on my way to just do that. She said that she was going to meet with the headmaster. He also mentioned that when I questioned him. She attended the meeting as planned. The headmaster met with Bellwether. You will probably want to speak with him next. She must have found her way into this classroom afterward. Would you happen to have a map of the Academy? I do. I have extra copies if you'd like one. Ooh, a map. What is it? There's only one direct path from the headmaster's office to this lecture hall. But I wonder if she took any detours. Okay, nice. We add the map in our notes. Anything else? Okay, there's more. How was the body discovered? Do you know how the body was discovered? 2 members of the kitchen staff spotted her collapsed inside the classroom. They reported the situation to the campus admin while they attempted to save her life. But it was too late. The professor had already passed away by the time any healers arrived. Those 2 staff members, who were they? I believe their names were Valentina and Valerie Ianus. They're apparently sisters. Orim was the one who collected their statements. Did he not notice anything off about their behavior? From what he said, they had a few quirks, but nothing too suspicious. Quirks? He told me that they were running and spinning around him during questioning. Oh, that's a sign of them being super panicked. What does that mean? I have no idea. Perhaps they were still on the edge after finding their co-worker murdered. You definitely want to speak with those staff members. Who discovered the body has been added to your notes. And why is Wallace a suspect? We've already told the Inquisition this, but Wallace was with us the entire time. He couldn't have committed the murder. Yeah, he has a perfect alibi. Strong, maybe, but his alibi is far from perfect. Miss McCoy herself told us that. There was a small time period when she wasn't with him. What? Right. It was when I came to check on you after you knocked over that shelf. I got a little lost on my way back to Wallace. But still, we only lost each other for a few minutes. That may be, unless his alibi is airtight, the evidence in this room proves that it was him. What do you mean? It'll be easier to explain once you examine it yourself. Our time to examine. Oh, Tyrion, I almost forgot. Since this is our first official case together, I wanted to show you something that I learned. Okay, what is it?
Arcanum.
What was that? That's an incantation for the detect magic spell. Detect magic? Wait, does that mean? Yep. We can see magical traces while we're examining crime scenes now. Ooh, detect magic. Well, interesting she has an American accent here.
Repario Arcanum.
Oh, we're gonna keep with the Scottish accent regardless, because, you know, it fits. There's a trace of illusion magic next to the body. We believe that the suspect donned an illusory disguise immediately after murdering the victim. Using his disguise, he discreetly made his way back to the library unnoticed. Assuming that Wallace isn't the murderer, the real killer must have used a similar disguise, which means that no one would have seen them leave this classroom. It'll be harder to find any witnesses that saw the perpetrator. What? What's wrong? There's a trace of necromancy on the body. Necromancy? Isn't necromancy the type of magic that creates undead? She's not just going to get up and walk away, right? We're honestly not sure. That's part of the reason why I stationed myself here. What does that have to do with Wallace? Oh, you didn't know? Wallace Nightgrave is a necromancer. Oh. Okay, so, So the person who actually did the murder really had something going against Wallace and actually knows him very well. He's a what? We believe that he drained her life force completely using a necromancy spell. That's why there are no visible wounds. Here is the autopsy report. We'll tell you everything that you need to know. Okay, died at 2:01 p.m. Body shows no signs of cuts or bruising. The alchemist report has verified that death was not caused by poison or disease. Body shows traces of necromancy and illusion magic. Cause of death is not apparent, but very likely caused by necromancy magic. But in the modern day, even the Inquisition doesn't commonly deal with necromancy. They're all on edge about what other spells he might have used. So, I'm here to make sure that nothing unholy happens to the body. Can't believe it. You heard stories of necromancers before. Why would not Wallace be studying something like that? And even if Wallace is a necromancer, aren't there plenty of other mages who can cast necromancy spells? This is an academy for mages after all. No, there are no laws against it. The knowledge required to learn necromancy is heavily controlled. No one in their right mind would dare teach necromancy beyond basic healing magic. Frankly, I'm surprised that even one student at this school was allowed to learn it. Ooh. So it's kind of forbidden magic except for one specific occasion, like healing. Well, that's making it a little bit tough on poor Wallace. I can see why. But because of this specific piece of evidence, we know that he's the murderer. But in her mind, she says, but it's still too convenient. That's the first time you've seen a thought from Steelwind. Objection! No, we're not there yet, Crid. Once we get to the courtroom, yes, we can say objection. But also, hello, welcome. Normally, you can only see thoughts from people who are stressed or excited. You doubt that Miss Steelwind is excited. So, is something causing her to be stressed? Is there something you're not telling us, Steelwind? But something tells me that this case isn't as straightforward as you claim it is. If you truly believe that, then why don't you prove it? The eye can't see any more thoughts from her. She must be subconsciously guarding her mind now. She's clearly hiding something. Is there anything else? No, it doesn't seem like it. Whoa. Can we move? Can we actually present stuff to her? Give her the map, for example? Nope. Guess we can't use an argument yet. Ugh. This rancid smell is really horrible. How about hold it? Yeah, not yet. Not yet. We're doing the investigation right now. Yes, I don't blame you for finding it distracting. It's all because of a mistake during an alchemy experiment. I was surprised too. Not like the headmaster to make a mistake like that. Well, I guess we need to move to the foyer now. We go here? We examine here? It's a statue. There's some writing on the platform it's on. Gillian Chemnitz, the inventor of early artificery. So this guy is the one who invented it. Would have thought that we could use machines to harness magical energy. Artificery is truly a marvelous invention. With it, anyone can utilize the convenience of magic without having noble blood. Though, the expenses of owning artificery present their own barrier. But that expression on his statue kinda looks like he doesn't want to be here, even though his statue is huge. He does give off that attitude, doesn't he? What about this? It's a painting of a man with some sort of creature on his arm. There's some text under it. Dr. Delbit Taforos, a mage, historian, archaeologist, anthropologist, and botanist. Best known for his work in studying the history of the ancient dragons. Through his work, great leaps were made in the study and development of the school of evocation. On his arm is one of the last pseudo-dragons, which have now gone extinct. But it's a painting of a professor with some kind of magical tool. There's some text under it. Dr. Paul Vurella, also known as the archaeologist of the North. He spent many years studying and exploring the mountainous regions of Chardalon, and through his investigation, he came upon one of the many layers of the sacred lore. He was honored by both the church and the Wyverngard Historical Society for his impressive discovery. Okay. We already checked these. Detect magic?
Arcanum.
Nope. I guess we'll move back here. Oh, we can actually examine them. I can't believe the professor is dead. We just saw her this morning. The chalk outline where her body was. It appears that most of this blood came from her abdomen. Is that where the fatal wound was? There's a lot of blood in this puddle. There's no trail leading to it. There aren't any magical traces anywhere else in the room. I doubt the murderer used magic to clean it. Does that mean that the murderer attacked her in this room? Maybe, but it's hard to say for certain. Ooh, bloodstain under the body. Oh, we got more clues. There's a pool of blood where Catherine Bellwether's body was. The location implies that she bled from her abdominal area. Okay. What about here? The lecture hall has a window with a view. I feel like I'd just stare outside all day if I had to attend class here. You're not much of a student, are you? I just can't spend hours sitting in one place. I need to move around. She was pretty antsy while you were studying in the library earlier. How have you learned so many spells if you're so distractible? Don't know. I just learned the spell formula and cast stuff. I see. Is that not normal? What about this? It's a painting of some sort of musician. There's some text written below it. Dr. Nicholas Gosu, inventor of the ARCANE engine. His work revolutionized trade and travel across the seas. He was well known for not discriminating between the common folk and the nobility, judging his assistants based purely on their merit. When he wasn't conducting research within the Imperial Academy, he was known to compose symphonies for the king in his free time. Looks like he was a man of many talents. Is there anything else? Oh, they have books here too. They appear to be textbooks about alchemy. Aw, lame. Oh, what's this? This must be where the students sit during the lectures. Ugh. Can't imagine just sitting in one place all day. No, we never had a proper school in Cornhaven. I mainly got my education from books that my parents bought from traveling merchants. What about you? I used to attend a public school in my hometown. After Miss Tamora adopted me, she handled my education personally. Right, is there anything else that we didn't check? Okay, everything seems to be checked.
Arcanum.
Nope. Do we actually present this? As a mage from a noble house, you must have gone to school here. Did you know Catherine Bellwether while you were here? Unfortunately, I did. I constantly clashed with her over her treatment of the students. One of my biggest regrets is failing to remove her from her position before I graduate. Sounds like many people didn't get along with the professor. Ooh. Well, from the little that we saw of her, she does seem to be like this bossy and haughty individual. I would say more, but it doesn't feel right to speak ill of the dead. Is there anything else? Nope. Is there anything else we can examine? Nope. Let's move. Alright, time to move to... let's see. Let's go to the kitchen first. Hello? Is anyone here? Looks like there's no one here right now. Maybe we should check somewhere else. Alright, so... Oh, let's check this though. There's a large cooking station here. I must prepare the meals in bulk here. Anything else? Ooh. Okay, let's check this. Let's examine and then we move on. It's a set of pots for cooking soups and the like. They must serve the students meals on these plates. It's a shame that they had to close the kitchen due to the investigation. It's a barrel full of some sort of drink. I wonder. It's probably not lotus juice, Celeste. She wanted more lotus juice. Several commonly used ingredients are close to the cooking area. Is there anything else? These. There's a rack of cooking implements hanging from the wall. Valentina must use these to cook for the students. Let's check magic. Nope. Oh, bread. Oh, it's a plate of bread. They probably serve these as sides to the entrees. Don't get any ideas, Tyrion. What? Remember when we went to that fancy restaurant? You just kept ordering breadsticks and butter. The bread is free. I might as well take advantage of it. You know, eating that many carbs isn't good for you. Yeah. Don't eat too many carbs, folks. There's a large sack of produce in the corner. There's some wine here, too. That must be for the professors. Okay, so I guess we should move to the headmaster's office. You follow the map that Steelwind gave you. You arrive at the headmaster's office.
Oh, hello there. I wasn't expecting guests today.
Sorry for coming unannounced. You must be...
My name is Theodore Redmond. I'm the headmaster of the Wyvern Guard Imperial Academy. And judging from your appearance, you must be the protege of Ruby Timora. To what do I owe you the pleasure?
They must be here to investigate the murder. Wait, Eris? I thought you went to see Wallace. Unfortunately, the Inquisition is questioning him right now. They aren't allowing visitors. You must be so scared right now. I hope he's okay.
Right.
She had the same experience not too long ago.
If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. This is terrible. To think that one of my prized students would be accused of murder.
We heard your voice on the intercom when the lockdown happened. Are you the one who triggered it?
Yes. I activated it when I received a call from one of the staff. They reported that Professor Bellwether had been attacked.
Headmaster's actions has been added to your notes. Okay. How does the lockdown system work?
It's an artificial network that covers the entire academy. In the event of an emergency, I can activate it using this stone.
The headmaster pulls out a glowing stone from his desk. You can hear the hum of magical energy emanating from it.
Once activated, the system creates magical barriers throughout the building. It's designed to contain and protect each room in the building.
Could a powerful mage breach any of these barriers?
I doubt it. The barriers can withstand a great amount of force. They even block mages from teleporting through them. And once activated, even I can't turn it off for an hour.
The Academy lockdown system is a system of artificer that covers the entire Academy building. It's activated, creates magical barriers that isolate and protect each room of the building. These barriers can be breached with physical or magical force. They also block mages from teleporting through them. That's a pretty effective lockdown system, not gonna lie. Wallace Nightgrave. What can you tell me about Wallace? Earlier you said he was one of your prized students. I just need to understand. Why did the prosecutor say that he was a necromancer?
Because, technically, he is one.
What? But why would he study something like that?
Necromancy is probably one of the most dangerous and scrutinized schools of magic. His image has been long tainted by stories of dark wizards raising armies of the undead. However, it doesn't just control the forces of death, it also controls the forces of life.
Forces of life?
The truth is that healing magic is also classified as necromancy. Most healers don't care to admit it because of the stigma it has. And that's why Wallace is studying it. He wants to become a doctor.
There are plenty of mages who know healing magic. Why is Wallace being singled out?
For years, He's been studying necromancy beyond basic healing magic. He believes that high-level necromancy could revolutionize modern medicine. Unfortunately, many among the faculty don't see it that way. Wallace does not hail from a noble house. He's a mage that was born among the common folk. He's like me. Many of the faculty fear that he'll use his knowledge to raise armies of the undead, just like the necromancers of old. The Imperial Academy isn't even permitted to teach its students beyond basic healing magic. Then why did you allow him to study it? After everything that had happened to him, I made an exception. Everything that had happened to him? I am not at a liberty to say more. You will have to ask him if you wish to know more. Wallace's Spell Compendium. If you plan on defending Wallace, you'll need his Spell Compendium. Am I correct? Yes, having a client's compendium is instrumental to acquitting them. You may find that a bit difficult. You see, after a certain incident, he destroyed his compendium. What? Why would he do that? Does he need that to use magic? A spell compendium is a device mages use to keep track of what spells they can cast. It's really convenient for remembering the formulas and incantations of your spells. But it's not actually required to use magic. I thought of destroying mine a long time ago, but they're really expensive. Luckily, I have an unattuned spell compendium right here. I'd be more than happy to give it to you if it helps Wallace. Oh, thanks. Wallace just needs to maintain physical contact with it for 10 minutes. After that, the compendium will attune to his magic. Just make sure that you don't let another mage like Celeste hold it. Once it attunes to a mage, no one else can use it. Unattuned Spell Compendium. Oh. Wait. Oh, it glitched! It glitched again! Something is up with Eris. I don't know. Something weird is going on with Eris. Hopefully we will figure out what it is. Wonderful. I just hope you can persuade Wallace to attune to it. What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? Wow, that was a whole mess of emotions. She was rather unpleasant to work with. Can you think of any enemies she might have had? You might as well list everyone who attended the school. It's best to be blunt with these sort of things. As you saw yesterday, she had a pretty abrasive attitude towards the students. Many people in this school did not care for her. Maybe she wasn't the nicest person. But would that be really enough to motivate someone to murder her? She'd often target and harass students, especially those who were from the common folk. She even made a habit of expelling those students for minor infractions. Commoners, magic can be our ticket out of poverty. Can't imagine how it feel to have that opportunity unfairly taken from you. She put so much pressure on those students. Some of them even left the academy of their own volition. They couldn't handle her constant verbal abuse. Even then, would that be really enough motive to commit murder? Human psyche is a fragile thing. It's astounding what someone might do when pushed far enough. What about her relationship with the faculty? In some cases, it was worse than it was with the students. She'd often treat the staff like her personal servants. I've received many complaints from them about her behavior. Sorry if this sounds rude, but why didn't you just fire her if she was such a big problem? She's used her position to curry favor with the noble houses over the years. As you can imagine, the Academy's board is controlled by the nobility. If I ever tried to remove her, they would probably support her over me.
Damn, she must be one heck of a nasty woman. If your students don't like you, if your faculty doesn't like you, and you manage to keep your job because you had connections with the nobles, I mean, it was like she had it coming, right? She had it coming. But it definitely isn't Wallace. It definitely isn't Wallace who's the one who committed that murder. That's what we know for sure. The meeting. I heard that you had a meeting scheduled with Professor Bellwether this morning. What time was it? When did the meeting end?
Our meeting was scheduled for noon. She arrived on time, and our meeting lasted until 1 p.m.
Did anything seem off about her to you?
No, she seemed to be her usual self.
Detect a trace of fear. Or is it nervousness? If you don't mind me asking, what was the purpose of your meeting?
We met to discuss routine administrative matters. Despite our personal disagreements, we knew to stay civil when discussing personal affairs. But to be perfectly honest,
it did always feel like I was treading on eggshells when speaking with her. But you were her superior, weren't you? Didn't she respect your authority?
I had many arguments about how I was managing the academy. She was very vocal about her distaste for the common folk students. She was difficult, to say the least.
Can we present something to her?
It's a terrible thing that happened.
Oh, hey, Sam. Welcome. Welcome to the stream.
To think that someone would commit murder within the academy, using necromancy no less. Yes, it is all a lot to take in.
Yeah, just generic stuff. Yeah, let's check. Let's tell him about this. Steelwind told us that you had a bit of a mishap at Lecture Hall 2B.
Yes. I was filling in for the academy instructor when I accidentally misread the instructions she left. I'm quite embarrassed to admit that my old age is catching up with me.
Let's examine. It's a small table for guests. Is that wine?
No, actually. It's just apple juice. Most of my guests are students, after all.
There's a window with a view of a garden. Headmaster has a nice view from up here. There's a fireplace with some burning wood. Looks pretty cozy. It's a painting of someone. He looks like some sort of professor.
That's Professor Lucas Gilbert. He was an instructor here many decades ago. He was well beloved by the students here, and he was quite the accomplished scholar. And this was all despite him lacking the ability to use magic.
He studied magic without actually being able to use it?
Yes, he was quite remarkable. Unfortunately, we lost him to illness very early in his life.
Oh, there's this. It's a painting of a mage, but he doesn't quite look like a noble.
Oh, that's Jason Steelwind. of the chosen mages of the Scaled Lord.
Steelwind? Whoa, is that Arya's dad?
Yes, he's the earliest recorded ancestor of House Steelwind. Legends say that the Scaled Lord bestowed his power upon him and his allies to create the first mages.
Wow. It's hard to even tell that he and the prosecutor belong to the same bloodline.
As with all noble houses, House Steelwind had quite humble beginnings. Only they'd remember where they came from.
Let's see, is there anything else we need to investigate? We'll use Detect Magic.
Imperio Arcanum.
Nope, nothing here. Let's see. I guess we can go to the barracks. And look around the barrack dungeon cells. But you also don't see Wallace anywhere. The Inquisition is probably still questioning him. We should come back later. Okay, maybe we can go to the kitchen now. Hello? Is anyone there? Excuse me. Be right there. Sorry, the cafeteria is closed right now. Actually, we're here to investigate the murder. We heard that 2 members of the kitchen staff discovered the body. Oh, that would be me. I'm Valentina Iannis. Oh, she looks pretty peppy. Man, the designs in this game are super cool. I love the artwork. How about the other person? Do you know where they are right now? Oh, that would be my sister, Valerie. But I think she's somewhere else on campus right now. If you're with those knights, we've already told them everything we know. Actually, we're investigating separately from them. I wanted to ask you some questions about what you saw. Sure. Going to have to remember those details again. Man, if I had that Go XLR and these like text-based thoughts came up, I could have used the echo there. Would have been super appropriate. But I guess that's something I would probably invest in the future. To start, can you tell us how you and your sister discovered the body? Right. My sister and I were walking in the hallway from the kitchen to the west exit. We spotted the professor in a nearby classroom. She was lying on the floor and bleeding. I used an emergency communication device to call for help. While I was doing that, my sister tried to wake her up. It would imply that Valerie thought that she could be resuscitated. Did she know if the professor was still alive or not? We're not sure. She wasn't responding at all. She wasn't breathing, and she didn't even have a pulse. Wallace Nightgrave. What do you know about the suspect in this case? His name is Wallace Nightgrave. He's a student here. He's that scary kid, right? The one that raises the undead? Those are just rumors. He would never do something like that. But he studies necromancy, right? Have you ever actually met him? No, but I've heard the rumors. He's always hanging around the cemetery. I'm sure he's just biding his time, waiting for his chance to raise an army. Can't be helped that people think of him that way. But you can't help but be a little annoyed on his behalf. What can you tell me about Catherine Belwick? Ooh, that's a lot of negative emotions. Another set of complicated emotions. Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it anymore. She was a horrible person. She was really terrible to all of us. By all of us, do you mean the academy staff? Yeah, she always treated us like her personal servants. Sometimes she'd make messes on purpose, just so she could order us to clean it up. Damn, this lady is awful. That probably sounds terrible, but I'm sure a lot of people are glad that she's gone. Just hope we can still keep our jobs. Interesting. Now, why would she be worried about that? Did you ever feel like your job was at risk because of Bellwether? Yes, actually. He was actually planning to fire all of the staff. Fire all of the staff? Damn, this lady is unhinged. All of the staff? That can't be true, can it? The academy needs the staff to function. I'm not sure about the details. That's just what Jan told us. Who's Jan? He's one of the academy's custodians. You'll probably find him cleaning the halls if you look around. Well, I guess we can't ask her. Let's go to the hallway. Huh? Oh, I need to examine? We use detect magic?
Arcanum.
Nope. Oh, there's something we can detect here. It's the entrance to a lecture hall. The door says it's lecture hall 2F. What is this? It's an entrance to a lecture hall. The door says it's lecture hall 2D. Yeah. Let's go to the kitchen again. Can we ask her this? Nope. Do we examine stuff now? Celeste, this room was close to the crime scene. Could you cast detect magic and scan for magical traces? Oh, she's panicking. Sure. Did he just say scan for magical traces? Oh, I'll just get out of your way then. Wow, she just bolted out of the room. What was that about?
Arcanum.
Doesn't seem to be anything. Yeah, there's nothing. Damn, she ran away. Let's go to the hallway. Maybe we can find the guy there. Oh, there she is. You spot Valentina again. She's speaking to someone in a blue-collar uniform. Could he be the custodian that she mentioned? Jan, where have you been? You still haven't fixed the plumbing in the kitchen sinks.
Ugh. Someone just died. Can we take the day off for once?
You're causing trouble for me and Valentina. Please be reasonable. Wait, why is Valentina speaking in the third person, huh? Hold up, what's going on here? Oh, hello. Valentina? Oh, my apologies. I can see why you're confused. I'm not Valentina. I'm her sister, Valerie. Huh? They're twins? Are you trying to trick us or something? You look exactly the same. I remember reading about something like this before. You two are identical twins, aren't you? You're both genetically identical to each other. Yes, we are. Wait, this means that she was the one who discovered the body alongside Valentina. Since we have you here, do you mind if I ask you some questions about what happened? I'm terribly sorry. I've already spent a lot of time looking for Jan here. I'm really behind on my work. But Jan was also nearby when we discovered the body. I'm sure he can answer your questions. Oh, and then she zoomed out of there. Before you have a chance to object, Valerie quickly walks away. Wait! Do you want me to go after her? Pretty sure I can catch up to her. No. You don't want to scare those two more than we already have. Anyways, excuse me. Anyways, Valeria said that Jan was around when the murder happened. Maybe he saw something. Jan, was it? Do you mind if we ask you some questions about what happened? Really? Well, whatever. At least I have an excuse to take a break now. So, Jan, are you part of the staff here? Yep. I'm a janitor. I clean, and I do odd jobs here and there. Well, apparently, that's all he has to say about that. Valerie mentioned that you were close to the lecture hall 2B before they found Bellwether. What were you doing there when the twins discovered the body? I was cleaning the halls. Bellwether knocked over a vase. There were shards and dirt everywhere. Wait, you saw the professor before the twins arrived? Yeah, like I said, she broke the vase right in this hallway. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body. You might have been the last person to see her alive. Did you see where she went after breaking the vase? Yeah, I think she went into that room over there. Jan points to the lecture hall that Bellwether was found in. Do you see anyone else enter the lecture hall? Honestly, not sure. I was more worried about cleaning the mess that she made. Oh, did you notice anything off about her? She was in a pretty bad mood. But honestly, it's pretty normal for her. She was walking real slow. I didn't notice her at first, and she basically shoved me out of the way. After that, she knocked over that vase. Didn't even say anything about after that. But she yelled at me to be quiet. Did you see where she went after that? Not really. The only thing in that classroom was lecture hall 2B. I can't imagine her going anywhere else. Okay, can we talk more? What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? I heard she has a pretty bad relationship with the staff. Yeah, the bad relationship with just about everyone. Students, the other teachers. I can't think of many people who actually did get along with her. Sure, you had your own share of bad experiences with her. Yeah, she'd always yell at me when I was taking too long to get a job done. I hate to say it, but things are a lot more peaceful out here without her. That's blunt, to say the least. You can't exactly blame him for thinking that. Valentina mentioned something interesting. Did you tell her that Bellwether was going to fire the entire academy staff? Yeah, I remember that. What made you think she was going to do something like that? You know, these arcane constructs in the library? Bellwether was the one that ordered them. Oh yeah, they're pretty cool. Well, a few weeks ago I overheard a meeting she was having with the headmaster. What I've heard, she was planning to order more constructs and entirely replace the staff. Oh. Well, I'm sure the headmaster rejected her proposal. I don't know. The way she was talking, it sounded like he didn't have a say in the matter. But only the headmaster would have the authority to fire staff. Why would she be that confident? No. All that I know is
that she hated having common folk in the schools, even among the staff. She was really miffed that he was hiring common folk from the community center. Okay, let's see.
Repario Arcanum.
Okay, let's go back. And let's see. What is this? It's an entrance to a lecture hall. There it says lecture hall 2F. Okay. Okay, then what about this? Okay, there it says lecture hall 2H. We move now. We go to the barracks now? Let's see. It's over. My life is over. Wallace? Who are you? What do you want? Wallace, it's Celeste and Tyrion. The battery from the library, remember? Oh, right. How are you doing? Apparently, not well. Please tell me you're gonna get me out of here. I kept telling them that I didn't do it, but they still won't let me go. I'm sorry, Wallace, but they found traces of necromancy and magic on the body. Because of that, they're going to push your case to trial. What? This can't be happening. I can feel these walls closing in. I can't breathe. Please calm down. We know that you're innocent. That said, would you let me represent you in court? Oh, right. You said that you were a lawyer. But I don't really have any money to pay you with. Don't worry about that. For now, let's just focus on getting you acquitted. What? Do they seriously want to help me? No, they want something from me. But, well, I guess it doesn't matter anyways. It's not like I have anything else to lose. That's not exactly the reaction you were expecting. But at least he's cooperating. I don't understand. I was with you in the library the entire time. Why did they still think I'm the murderer? It makes no sense. Unless... You told the Inquisition, right? Did you tell them that I'm innocent? They framed me? We did. But as we said before, there are traces of necromancy on the body. With the state of the body, they believe that she was murdered with a necromancy spell. Apparently, that makes you their prime suspect. I see. Wallace, we heard about the type of magic that you are studying.
Don't worry. Headmaster explained to us already. You just want to put necromancy to become a doctor, right? I understand that you have reservations about talking about your magic. But in order to build a case for you, I need your spell compendium. I don't have one. I know. Eris already told us about that. That's why she gave us a blank one for you to attune to. Do I have to? It's your life on the line, and we need all the information we can get to help you. Sorry, you're right. I'll attune to it. The caster creates a small and harmless effect around their hand. This effort will last as long as they maintain concentration on the spell. Ooh, okay. Mend wounds has been added to your notes. Illusory disguise. Ooh, that's a new one. This is an illusion on the target to completely change their visual appearance. Disguise moves with the target for the duration. The disguise can make the target look 1 foot larger or smaller. Elements hidden by the spell are made invisible. Any elements created by the self are purely visual. You cannot make physical contact with it. Floods target with life energy in an attempt to resuscitate them. It does not heal wounds sustained. Results may vary, but it cannot resuscitate someone who has been dead for more than a minute. Reanimates the target using life energy, creating an undead minion for the duration. The minion follows the caster's orders, but its intelligence is limited and can't speak. The minion that casts end on the spell prematurely, but will only do so if ordered by the caster. Once the spell has ended, the undead will return to being a dead body. Oh, this is a very efficient spell. Necrotic Light pulls all of the energy from the target, resulting in an instant death. The spell does not wound the target, nor does it leave any physical evidence, but it still leaves a magical trace. Understand the reason why he's studying this type of magic. The spells in his compendium are still pretty gruesome. It's a little terrifying that spells like this even exist. Sorry, I know I was being difficult. A long time ago, I showed my compendium to someone I trusted. After she saw my necromancy spells, she told everyone in the academy. That's also when Professor Bellwether started coming after me. I'm sorry. That must have been hard for you. But at least you had Eris. Yeah, I did. How do you and Eris become friends anyway? Another hint of fear from her. Are her feelings related to Eris? Oh, it's a bit of a strange story. Sometimes the other students would steal the ID number off my locker. Then they'd switch it with another one on another locker. They thought it was funny whenever the owner got angry with me. Eris had a bit of a reputation around her school. Not sure why, but everyone was scared of her, even the students from the nobility. It was probably due to some baseless rumors. One day, someone switched my nameplate with hers. I was so scared when she approached me. I couldn't even say anything. But she didn't get angry like the others. She just apologized and gave me back my nameplate. About that, she randomly started talking to me whenever she saw me. We became friends after that. That's nice. It's a good thing he was able to find a friend in a place like that. So, I have to ask, if it's caused you so much trouble, why are you still studying necromancy? If it's caused you so much trouble, why are you still studying necromancy? I want to use it to become a doctor. The headmaster told us the same thing. But you could have just stopped after learning the healing spells. Why are you learning spells that can steal people's life force and raise undead? Life and death are two sides of the same coin. The key principle behind necromancy, the first undead was actually failed attempt to resurrect a human using magic. Wow, I never knew that. Right now, basic necromancy can only heal injuries and wounds. But it can't do anything for diseases or deformities. Sorry. If I could keep studying, I know that I can create a new type of necromancy. One that can cure diseases and save lives. He specifically wants to cure diseases. Did something happen to him, to his mother, to motivate him that much? I think I can already guess the answer to this question. But how long was your relationship with Catherine Bellwether? It's about what you'd expect. After word got out about what I was saying, Professor Bellwether would always target me. She'd start yelling at me for the smallest of mistakes. She'd do that to some other of the students too, and she'd focus on the ones that were poor like me. It's terrible. I'd wake up each day, dreading the possibility that she'd notice me in the hallways. I knew how to avoid her and stay out of her way. But sometimes she'd just come looking for me. I can't believe that after everything that she did, she's just gone. You must have mixed emotions about what happened.
I honestly don't know how I feel about it. To be honest, I always wished she would just disappear. But now that it's finally... Even with Bellwether gone, his trauma will still probably linger. I'm starting to put things together now. Have you figured something out? Yeah. I just need to take some time to think thoroughly everything. The prosecution wants to implicate Wallace despite his alibi. They wouldn't have a reason to do this unless the evidence is heavily implicated him. How does the evidence implicate Wallace? We learned that Wallace is a necromancer, and he's the only person in the academy that's capable of high-level necromancy. And he's the only person at the academy who's capable of high-level necromancy? Let's see. Which one are we going? Let me see the text. Okay. A witness of steel was found... No, not in the hallway. Let's see. No, Wallace is the only person that studies high-level necromancy at the academy. There's a piece of evidence at the crime scene that paints him as a suspect. Oh, okay. Let's look at... Can we actually check the inventory? I can't be a witness. Ah, magical trace. Of necromancy was found on the body. There we go. There's a trace of necromancy on the body. This means that they think that Wallace used one of his necromancy spells. Even without seeing the traces, it's pretty obvious that magic was used on the body. Right. Because there aren't any wounds on it. And the autopsy report found no signs of poison or disease. Which spell do they think Wallace used? I know Prosecutor Steelwind. She probably already has a theory on which spell he might have used. Prosecution will probably argue that Wallace used one of his spells to kill Bellwether. Should be this one. Necrotic Blight. They will probably say that he used Necrotic Blight. That makes sense. Necrotic Blight would have drained the life force from her body. Okay. That's where the contradiction lies. Let's suppose that Wallace did kill Bellwether using Necrotic Blight. There's some things at the crime scene that wouldn't be there if that were true. What is wrong with the crime scene? It could be because of the smell, right? The Academy's oh no. Bellwether's body Is that it? No. Steelman would probably argue that Wallace used Necrotic Blight. But if that's really did happen, there's something on the body that shouldn't be there. What is wrong with the crime scene? Do need a bit of a think here. Well, let's look at the hint. Something on the body. There's a pool of blood. Ah, okay. Bellwether's body was covered in blood. Necrotic Blight is a spell that doesn't inflict any visible wounds. There shouldn't have been any blood on the body. But then, what really happened? That's the last piece. If I had to guess, the information we need is being hidden by one of the witnesses who discovered the body. Valentina. She's definitely hiding something. Did you notice how she reacted when I asked you to scan the room? Yeah, she ran away. She didn't even think of trying to be subtle about it. The way she reacted, I think she may have been trying to hide herself from your detect magic. can only mean that there is a magical trace on it. I wonder what she's trying to hide. There's only one way to find out. Next time you see her, could you subtly cast Detect Magic and scan her? Alright. It's been a while since we talked to her. Valerie also mentioned that they still had work to do today. She might be back in the Academy's kitchen now. We can go to the hallway. Nope. Those two are finally gone. I finally get some cleaning done. Okay, there she is. Use Detect Magic to scan her from here. Right. Just don't shout the incantation like you always do. I know that. Alright. Here goes. Imperio Arcanum. What the? What is it? There's a trace of magic on her. I knew it. Which school of magic is it? It's necromancy. Oh. There's a trace of necromancy on her. What? So what do we do now? I'm still not sure how this fits with everything. For now, let's talk to her and see if we can get information out of her. All else fails, confront her with the evidence we have. Oh, it's you two again. There, what? Okay, just relax. All I have to do is repeat what I told them last time. Fortunately for her, that won't work this time. Magic on the body. Miss Enos, did you know that there's a trace of necromancy on Bellwether's body? That's what he used to kill the professor, right? A necromancy spell? That's the thing. If that were true, a lot of evidence we found doesn't make sense. I think someone else cast the spell on the body. Oh, she's panicking? Looking a little sus there, Valentina. Is it possible that you saw someone use magic on Bellwether? No, definitely not. Calm down. There's no way they know. Her thoughts are an open book now. You beat her in an argument. Thoughts might show you what she's hiding. Oh. Valentina Enos' psychological profile is complete. Okay, it's time. It's time for the debate. It's time for the argument. Okay. Let's do a little bit of a stretch before we prepare ourselves to get into an argument. Oh, man. Alrighty. Now let's do this. Valentina clearly knows more than she's letting on. She found the body alongside her sister and reacted strangely when you mentioned someone may have used magic on the body. What is she hiding? Yes. Miss Eunice, from the beginning, I felt that you've been hiding something from us. There's something that you're not telling us about. What? What are you talking about? My conscience is clear. I've told you in the nights everything I know. I've got nothing to hide. Miss Eunice, it's clear to anyone how nervous you are. I can practically see the fear you're emanating right now. Just tell us the truth. It'd be a lot easier for the both of us. Let's say I were hiding something, which I am not, by the way. I don't have to tell you anything. Why should I tell you anything? I know my rights. Let's see. Althea is more concerned about protecting herself than doing the right thing. Continue to hide her secrets unless she thinks that doing so is dangerous for her. She sees Wallace as a villainous necromancer and will not feel pity for him. Let's try threatening. Oh, it's the right one. Okay. You've already given your statement to the Inquisition. The truth comes out. What do you think they'll do when they realize you lied to them? Who are you protecting, Miss Eunice? You talk a big game, but I bet you can't actually prove anything, can you? You think I'm lying to protect someone? I don't know anyone who can use magic. And I definitely didn't see anyone use magic on the body. Let's see. Which one is it? where's the text? I don't know anyone who uses magic. Can it be him? Theodore? Messianus, you know someone capable of casting magic, and this proves it. Oops. She said she doesn't know anyone who... So, it's someone else. Hold on. Anyone else who uses magic? It should be this, right? Slightly stumped at the moment, but don't worry, we'll figure it out. I don't know anyone who can use magic. You see her sister? Nope. Oh, there we go. I thought she said that she knows a person, so I decided to give a person, so it's that. She still has a trace. My bad. Could have solved that from early on. You can't hide the truth from us, Messianus. What? You said that you've noticed... You said that you've noticed... Never seen a necromancy spell before. If that were true, then why is there a trace of necromancy on you? Wait, what? There's a trace of necromancy on me? I'll give it one. What? Did she know? Did she not know about the spell that was cast on her? No. Doesn't make any sense.
she doesn't know about the trace, she wouldn't have avoided Celeste back then. Must be an explanation for this. Successfully argued against Valentina and Eunice. This is crazy! Why is there a trace of necromancy on me? Am I going to die? Am I going to become a zombie? That's strange. Is she really unaware that a spell was cast on her? Or is she playing dumb? Why doesn't Valentina know that the spell was necromancy? She knows someone used magic on her. She doesn't know that spell was necromancy. Let's see the spell. Cast on Valentina. Healed her. Yes. Calm down, Miss Eunice. Not all necromancy spells relate to the undead. Healing spells are also from the school of necromancy. Healing spells? Oh, it was from that time she healed that cut. She? She implies that she knows a mage who studies healing magic. Would that person be a student here? Sorry, I just remembered that there's something else I have to do. I'll be right back. Hey, come back here. Ugh, she ran away again. I can catch her. There's no way she can outrun me. No, the Inquisition is still stationed around the surrounding areas. They'd probably intervene if we started harassing one of the witnesses. That's true. But we weren't able to learn anything. Actually, I did learn one thing. She has a friend who cast a healing spell on her. Really? How did you figure that out? Good deductive reasoning. Wow. Well, healing magic is also a form of necromancy, right? I guess that explains the trace on her. It's a good thing we know it was. Otherwise, he might have also thought that a necromancer was trying to kill her. Wait a minute. That's it? What? Did you figure something out? This whole time, I've been wondering why there is a trace of necromancy on the body. It isn't because someone attacked Bellwether with a necromancy spell. It's because someone used necromancy in an attempt to heal her. Oh, I see. Doesn't matter what type of necromancy spell someone uses. Spells from the same school of magic leave the same type of trace. It's not just that. Body clearly has blood on it. What would happen if someone used a healing spell on a wounded body? It would close all of the body's wounds. In other words, it would remove any cuts or bruises. Well, interrogating Valentina may have been a dead end. It still gave us what we needed to win this case. I'm not sure that was a dead end. What do you mean? It's not that suspicious that she asked someone to heal her if she's injured herself. But if it's only that, why would she go so far? Why would she go to so much trouble to hide it? It's too coincidental. The wounds on the body were healed by an unknown person. The person who found the body is hiding the identity of the healer. They have to be the same person. I guess that makes sense. So, what do we do now? Valentina's definitely onto us. I doubt we'll get a third chance to speak with her. Hopefully, what we have now is enough to acquit Wallace. Done everything you can. Is what you will learn to poke holes in the prosecution's case. If that doesn't work, you're gonna drag Valentina onto the witness stand and pull the truth out of her. Just hope that what she's hiding is enough to acquit Wallace. I demand to know why you're holding my rapier. It's a precious family heirloom, and I want it back. It's evidence in the current case. Evidence? The professor was killed by necromancy. Was she, though? Why are you asking me? You're the one who's investigating this. I suppose it doesn't matter. Just know that I will bring her murderer to justice, no matter who it may be. Okay. Pretty. This lady seems pretty, I don't know, seems pretty sus. Wait, that's slow. All right, it's time for the trial. Okay, Crid, the objections and the take-thats are coming in a bit. Take deep breaths and relax. Hi, Tyrion. Ah, Celeste? Don't sneak up on me like that. Why are you so nervous? It's not as if it's your first time defending someone. I can't help it. There's something about this building that just fills me with anxiety. Ugh, it's too bad Ruby couldn't make it. I'd say that you'd calm down for Wallace's sake, but there's so many people here, and they're all staring at me. Their eyes are prying into me like a pack of flesh-eating maggots. Gross. Don't worry, Wallace. Our investigation revealed a lot of weaknesses in the prosecution's case. We have a strong case for your acquittal. Okay. See? You can be confident when you want to be. It's strange. Something is calming about Wallace's anxiety. It's like he absorbs the tension out of you and into himself. Where we go. Court is now in session for the trial of Wallace Nightgrave. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Defense is also ready. Very well. Let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, could you please list the changes? Defendant is a student at the Wyverngard Imperial Academy. Mr. Nightgrave is charged with first-degree murder, negligent misuse of the arcane arts, and illegal practice of an advanced necromancy. Necromancy? Do you mean to tell me that the defendant is a necromancer? I can't believe it. A necromancer in this day and age? How could this kingdom let this happen? Your Honor, I would like to remind the court that they should view my client objectively. Of course, but one can easily see it from the list of changes. Necromancy plays a large role in the charges. Indeed, the crime occurred within the academy this morning. The victim is Catherine Bellwether, a professor at the school. Although there were no witnesses, traces of necromancy were detected on the body. Further, the autopsy report shows that the body has no physical wounds. I see. Necromancy is the only type of magic that can harm an individual without physically wounding them. Additionally, the alchemist's report shows no sign of poison or disease. Therefore, one can only conclude that a necromancer had committed the crime. As many of you know, necromancy is held under high scrutiny by the Crown. Aside from the defendant, no other students were permitted to learn advanced necrotic magic. As such, the defendant was the only mage in that building capable of committing the murder.
I see. That is certainly some compelling evidence.
To properly present our case, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orm White to the stand. Commander White, please testify to the court about the Inquisition's findings.
Yeah. It started when the city got a call for the Imperial Academy. Someone was attacked, and the whole building was put on lockdown. We set up a perimeter around the area and waited for the lockdown system to deactivate. We finally got into the building. The prosecutor personally inspected the body and detected traces of necromancy on it. There were no cuts or bruises on the body either. The entire body was clean. With those two pieces of evidence, we concluded that it could only be the necromancer kid that did it.
The Inquisition's testimony is just about to be expected. Already found and identified holes in Steelwind's case. All you have to do is to find that hole in the commander's testimony.
Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
Okay, let's see. Let's press. What time did this call come in?
A little after 3 p.m. It was a few minutes after the murder was discovered.
Right. You remember that was around the time the lockdown occurred. Right. The lockdown can't be ended manually, so they must have been forced to wait until the 1 hour duration to elapse. How secure was this perimeter? Is it possible that someone slipped past you? The Inquisition was working in conjunction with the City Watch and the King's Guard. With that many people at the scene, it's very unlikely that anyone escaped unnoticed. True. For better or worse, the kingdom will act quickly to protect a building filled with nobles. Once we get into the building, okay, let's press. Why did the prosecutor inspect the body instead of the Inquisition?
Well,
how I conducted the investigation is truly irrelevant to the proceedings. Would you rather like to insinuate that I'm not as competent as Commander White? You don't get to question her competency. But it's still a bizarre decision on her part.
While the court admits that the prosecutor's actions are unorthodox, we see no reason the prosecutor's ability.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a moment, guys. Hold on. How carefully was the body checked?
Perhaps the prosecution missed something. The coroner couldn't even find the smallest cut, bruise, or fracture on the body. Furthermore, the alchemist's report showed no signs of poison or disease. The coroner was actually astounded at how unscathed the body was. That makes sense. If someone had used mend wounds on the body, it would have healed even the most minor of injuries. The question, how do you prove that? With these two pieces of evidence, we concluded that it could only be the necromancer kid who did it. And the prosecution believes that my client used necrotic blight? Yep. It's the only way that the crime scene makes any sense. Necrotic blight? I'm afraid I've never heard of this spell before. Necrotic blight is a spell that drains the life force from its subjects. When used on a living human, it makes their body functions cease, instantly killing. I see. What a horrible spell. The child should have never been allowed to learn something like that. What were they thinking? Oh, is that AVGN in the crowd? I mean, in the audience? Ugh. Having that spell is not doing Wallace any favors. We already investigated the crime scene, so we know that the Inquisition's theory contradicts one of the clues that we found. Right. All I have to do is present the contradiction to the court. Okay, so it should be 4. And the prosecution believes that my client is using... Okay, I think we read that.
Objection!
Oh, that's not the one. Oh, not the one. I'm trying to think here. With these two pieces of evidence, we conclude that only the necromancer kid. No cuts or bruises on the body. The entire body was clean. No, hold up. No, it wasn't. There's a pool of blood. There we go. Commander White, it appears that you have neglected to mention one key detail of the crime scene. Yeah? And what's that? During your testimony, you said that the entire body was clean. I will admit that there weren't any wounds on the body. However, the body was certainly not clean. At the scene of the crime, there was a large pool of blood located where the body was. This blood came from the victim's body, and it was definitely not clean like the commander testified. I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but I fail to see the significance of this. I'd like to remind the court of the prosecution's case against my client. They are accusing him of murdering the victim using necrotic blight, a spell which would not have physically wounded the victim. So why was there any blood at all? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The fact still stands. There were no wounds on the body, nor were there any reports of poison or disease on the autopsy. There are clearly magical elements in this case. But Catherine Bellwether was bleeding profusely at some point. How else would there be a blood stain on the body? Do you have an explanation for that, Miss Steelwind? No. I'll admit that the prosecution does not have an explanation for that. And while I do find the circumstances questionable, all other evidence clearly points to the defendant. What spell would leave a trace of necromancy? If the victim wasn't killed with necromancy, why was there a trace of it on the body? I'm glad you asked. I'd like to present a spell that could have left a trace of necromancy on the body. He pulls up a life in okay. Floods the target with life energy to resuscitate them. It should be. The music goes hard, man. Yeah. I'm honestly surprised at how good this game's OST is. Like, yeah, it almost feels like it was made in a professional studio. Even though this game apparently was made after a Kickstarter. Oh, it should be this one. Mend wounds? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that a healing spell? Oh, also, hey SK, what's up? Welcome. That's correct, Your Honor. Spells from the School of Necromancy can control the forces of death and life. Mend wounds is, in fact, a necromancy spell. Really now? I wasn't aware of this. Now I'd like the court to consider the following. What would happen if Bellwether was wounded and someone attempted to heal her using mend wounds? all of her wounds would disappear from her body. I see.
Objection!
Oh. Do you honestly think that I'm incompetent, Mr. Cuthbert? Frankly, I'm a little insulted. Hey, sorry, sadly I'm gonna dip real quick since it's only a break. Okay, yeah, because it's usually the work day. That's understandable, but I appreciate taking the time in order to watch a little bit while you're taking your break. Frankly, I'm a little insulted. What? The Inquisition is well aware of what happens when a mage attempts to save a victim using mend wounds. The healers that arrive at the scene already confirmed that the victim was long dead. None of them attempted to heal her. Well, what if someone tried to heal her and she didn't report it? Please, none of the healers would have anything to gain by doing so. In fact, as a necromancer, the defendant could have easily carried out the described scenario. He could have cast mend wounds on the victim after murdering her to confound the investigation. At the end of the day, the burden of the proof is on you. If you could just find out who healed the body, this case is yours. Whoever this healer is, Valentina definitely knows her. Your Honor, I will admit that I don't have any evidence to support my theory. However, I do believe that we can bring it to light. There may have been 2 people that witnessed someone cast magic on the body. Valentina and Valerie Ianus, the sisters who discovered the body. This is nonsense. We already questioned those 2 witnesses extensively. If they had witnessed something like that, it would have come up in their testimony. If that's true, then you have nothing to lose by hearing their testimonies. Very well. If you're so confident, let's hear the witness's testimony. It seems the prosecution has no objections. However, if this line of questioning leads nowhere, I will see no reason to further prolong this trial. Do you understand, Mr. Cuthbert? Of course, Your Honor. Oh, look at her. She's panicking. Oh, crap. It's that guy from before. Is he the necromancer's lawyer? She just got on the stand. She's already stressed out. This could work in your favor. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name? Witness, there's no need to be so nervous. We merely want to hear about what you saw on the day of the murder. Right. It's just that guy over there. You mean Mr. Cuthbert? Did this man harass you, witness? Wait a minute. Yeah. He, super harassed me. How shameful. I would expect a member of our justice system to behave more professional. Oh, shut up. Anyways, please state your name and occupation for the court, Miss Ianus. Just calm down. He can't prove anything. My name is Valentina Ianus. I'm a member of the kitchen staff at the Wyvern Guard Imperial Academy. As I recall, you were one of the witnesses who discovered the body. Apparently, the defense finds your involvement suspect. Rest assured, Miss Ianus, in this courtroom, you will be protected from Mr. Cuthbert's harassment. Now, please testify to the court on what happened that day. Yeah. I was walking with my sister in the West Wing when we noticed something in a nearby classroom. We looked over there to see what it was. Then we saw Mr. Bellwether bleeding on the ground. My sister tried her best to help her, but the professor had already lost a lot of blood. While my sister did that, I used an emergency communication device to call for help. But it was too late. By the time her bleeding stopped, she'd already lost too much blood. If your theory is true, That means she just lied in her testimony. She's definitely holding something back. She definitely saw more than she's letting on. Just need to prove that somehow. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright. Alright, let's see. Where were you two coming from? We came from the kitchen. We were taking a break after the lunch rush. The cafeteria is on the west side of the academy. It's believable that they'd be on the side of the building. What did you see in the classroom, Miss Eunice? Did you not notice anything else strange in the lecture hall? Well, there was that terrible smell. It was awful. Almost couldn't see because of how much I was tearing up. But other than that, I was mostly focused on the professor. Makes sense. Be hard to notice anything else. My sister tried her best to help her, but the professor had already lost a lot of blood. She tried to help her? Miss Eunice, how exactly did your sister try to help Miss Bellwether? What? Oh, I slipped up. Oh, my sister used the first aid kit to try to stop the bleeding. I see. Could you please add that detail to your testimony? Yeah, sure. She used the first aid and applied pressure to her wound to stop the bleeding. Your sister knows how to use a first aid kit? Yeah, it was covered in our training when we first started working. With all the nobles around, I guess the headmaster wanted to make sure we were prepared. A device? It's an artificial device that allows for long-range communication. Some of those devices are placed around the school for use during an emergency. I see. So who did you contact? I wasn't sure, honestly. I could hear a lot of people talking on the other end. A particular device broadcasts to the headmaster's office and the City Watch barracks. I imagine that's why the headmaster was able to activate the lockdown so quickly. I see. But it was too late. By the time her bleeding stopped, she already lost too much blood. Okay. I see. It must have been a difficult experience for both of them. It was especially hard on my sister. I think she blames herself for not being able to save her. We didn't like Professor Bellwether, but we still didn't want her to die. She seems sincere when she says that. You don't see any dissonant thoughts through the eye either. Honestly, her testimony makes a lot of sense. It's hard to figure out which parts she might be lying about. There has to be a contradiction here somewhere. Your theory is that Valentina saw someone use mend wounds on Bellwether. Should focus on the statements that describe on how both interacted with her. Okay. See, shows no signs of cuts or bruising. But there's no cuts or bruising, right? That should be it, right? Objection! There we go. Witness, what is the meaning of this? What? Why are you looking at me like that? Maybe I can elaborate, Miss Eunice. You weren't present in the gallery earlier, were you? No, I was waiting in the lobby. Lady Steelman told me to wait there. Well, I suppose I should consider myself lucky. You see, Miss Ionis, one key element of the case is that the body didn't have any wounds on it. Yeah? So? So? Please explain to the court, Miss Ionis. How did Valerie apply first aid when there shouldn't be any wounds on the body? What? No, I screwed up. But I saw that wound on her. What happened?
That's clear. There's clearly something amiss here. But I'm afraid I don't fully understand the implications of this. Are you accusing the witness of committing perjury, Mr. Cuthbert?
If someone lies, they stay as close to the truth as possible while changing minute details. In her thoughts, Valentina said that she was sure that she saw a wound on Bellwether. And she also mentioned that Valerie was the one who tried to save the professor. She didn't try to save Bellwether with first aid. Would she have used magic instead? Her sister could be the mage that you're looking for. The witness was lying, Your Honor. But not about everything. Valerie Ionis did try to save the victim's life by addressing her wounds. But she didn't use first aid. She used magic. No! He found us out? Oh.
Objection!
I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but your theory is completely flawed. How so, Miss Steelwind? Well, it's quite simple. We've already verified that neither of the sisters are mages.
What?
Wait, how can you be so sure? During the investigation, we had both the Ionis sisters attuned to a spell compendium. It's a standard procedure for the Inquisition when interviewing witnesses. Then that means... That's correct. Neither of the Ionis sisters could attune to a compendium. That's right. The Inquisition checked us both. Neither of us are mages. Phew, that was close. Damn it! Were you wrong about Valerie being a mage then? No, that can't be right. Her thoughts said, he found us out. That means you were on the right track. Valerie has to be the mage you're looking for. Celeste, is it possible for a mage to hold a spell compendium to avoid attuning it? No, it just needs to be on their person. When I was arrested, the Inquisition also made me attune to one of their spell compendiums. They were really careful to make sure that I did the attunement correctly. There's no way a mage could avoid attuning to a compendium while them watching you. Right. Commander White may be negligent sometimes, but even he isn't that careless. Now, if you're done, I do believe that you've exhausted all your options. Wait! I'm still not done in cross-examining the witness. What could you possibly hope to glean from her testimony? Valentina should be stressed enough to see more of her thoughts. Can't exactly say that you're planning to read her mind. There is one key element of her testimony that the court is overlooking. I have a right as an attorney to complete my cross-examination. Your Honor, the defense is clearly trying to buy time.
I might be compelled to agree with you. However, I'll also admit that some elements of the witness's testimony are quite peculiar. I will allow the defense to perform one more cross-examination.
That was close.
But know that this is your last chance, Mr. Cuthbert. If you produce nothing substantial, I will pass my verdict.
Of course, Your Honor. Right. It's all or nothing. If you can't find anything by reading her mind, this whole case is finished. Witness, please give your testimony once more. Okay. Damn it. How long does he plan to keep me up here? Like I said, my sister and I saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. We rushed over her. I was definitely surprised when I saw her like that. Now that you mention it,
I don't know if I saw any wounds on her, but I definitely saw blood. Can't go back on that now. I just need to play dumb. My sister tried to save her, but she didn't use any magic. Ugh, Valerie, you're too kind-hearted for your own good. Neither of us is a mage. Both of us held that book the knights gave us. Was caught off guard when they asked us. They almost found us out. Commander was watching us the whole time. Can confirm it. It's a good thing that we're twins, or else that trick wouldn't have worked.
Trick? Oh, they used the switcheroo trick, huh?
What are we going to do? They have pretty hard proof that Valerie isn't a mage.
Valerie is the mage we're looking for.
I'm sure of it.
Just not sure why they felt the need to lie to the Inquisition. More importantly, how did they trick the Inquisition? Okay. That matches the details of our previous testimony. I have no reason to doubt this. It sounds like you're just backtracking on your previous testimony.
I'm not. I just assumed she was wounded because of all the blood. How was I supposed to know that someone closed her wounds?
The thoughts implies that she was lying, but her logic is sound. You'll need to look at her other statements and the thoughts that accompany them. If Valerie was the one who closed her wounds, how did you try to help her?
I don't know.
She might have been looking for an open wound to apply first aid to. But if we assume that you're telling the truth, there wouldn't be any wounds to find. My client would have already closed them to confound the investigation.
I'm telling you, I don't know.
It's hard to work with her pleading ignorance of what happened. Maybe you should try looking at the thoughts of her other statements. They almost found them out? And I assume that this book was an unattuned spell compendium? Yes, the Inquisition has a myriad of them. It's a standard procedure to have witnesses attuned to them. But doesn't the kingdom require that mages register? Why don't you just cross-reference those records with the witnesses' names? For whatever reason, many mages among the common folk dislike the concept of registering. As a result, many of them choose to hide their powers illegally. It's a good thing that they're twins. Did you pull some kind of trick to deceive the Inquisition while attuning Messianus?
Of course not. We know that lying to the Inquisition would get us into trouble. Why would either of us could take a risk like that?
Living as an unregistered mage is a serious crime. If Valerie was a mage, then you would have been charged with fraud right then and there.
Yeah, but we already proved that neither of us are mages.
Seems to differ. Think through this. This isn't like a normal cross-examination. Nearly all of her thoughts will be suspicious and contrary to her testimony. What you need to do is find the thought that gives you a thread to pull on. In this case, you need to find the thought that implies how the twins tricked the commander. Find the thought that holds the clue and interpret it to proceed. There we go. Messianus, your thoughts betrayed.
What?
You found the thought. They must have done something. But what? Must have happened when Commander White was interrogating them. Orin was the one who collected their statements. Did he not notice anything off about their behavior?
From what he said, they had a few quirks, but nothing too suspicious.
Quirks? He told me that they were running and spinning around him during questioning. Ah, so they were doing the switcheroo. Like, whenever he tried to ask a question, they were doing the switcheroo by, like, spinning around him and trying to make him feel confused. What does that mean? I have no idea. Perhaps they were on the edge after finding their coworker murdered. Running and spinning. Her thoughts also said, it's a good thing that we're twins. How did the twins trick the Inquisition? That means their so-called trick wouldn't have worked if they weren't twins. Valentina switched places with Valerie. Of course, they switched places. Valentina attuned to the first spell compendium, and she pretended to be Valerie to attune to the second one. Commander White couldn't tell the difference between them. Miss Enos, there's something I want to confirm. During this investigation, both you and Valerie attuned to a spell compendium. Am I correct? Yeah, that night watched us do it. And how did he have you do this? Did you both attune to those compendiums at the same time? Or did you attune one after the other? What? No way! Does he know what we did? I fail to see how that makes any difference, Mr. Cuthbert. Yes, I agree. The spell compendiums would work regardless of what order they went in. You may not be aware of this, Your Honor, but Valentina and Valerie Enos are identical twins, which means that their physical appearance are nearly identical to each other. If Commander White didn't have them attune at the same time, what would stop the twins from switching places with each other?
Objection!
This is clearly nothing but baseless conjecture. Orb would never fail at such a basic task. Really, Prosecutor Steelwind? Do you find it hard to believe that Commander White would fail at a task like this? Wait a minute. This is crazy. We didn't trick the Inquisition. My sister and I are not mages. Then prove it, Miss Enos. Bring in your sister and we'll have you to attune to 2 spell compendiums at the same time. No! Wait!
Order in the court. It's clear that we won't get anywhere until we test the defense's theory. Balith, escort Valerie Enos to the stand and bring 2 unattuned spell compendiums.
They both had their hands on the compendiums for the last 10 minutes. There's no way they can fake it in front of many people. All right, it's the moment of truth. And only hope that your theory is correct. No! Did he seriously?
What is it, Prosecutor Steelwind? What did you see?
What I see is Commander White seeking new employment in the near future. It appears that the defense was correct. Valentina Enos isn't a mage, but Valerie Enos is. What's more, Valerie Enos' compendium contains the Mend Wound spell, which makes the defense's theory entirely plausible. Please, just allow me to explain. We should allow you to explain what exactly. You're an unregistered mage, and you and your sister have made fools out of all of us with your perjury. How would you know what it's like, Lady Steelwind? What? Did you think we didn't notice your name? You're not like us. You don't have to hide. Whatever. This whole situation has gotten out of hand. Didn't think hiding it would cause so much trouble. I won't let someone go to prison because of me, even if he is a necromancer. Please let me testify about what I saw. I'll tell you what really happened on that day.
Very well. But understand that there will be repercussions for your actions, witness.
Yes, I know. My sister and I were walking in the hallway from the kitchen to the foyer. Then I suddenly spotted the professor lying in a pool of blood in a nearby classroom. Valentina used the communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast mend wounds on her to close her wounds. It was too late. I closed the hole in her stomach. She was already dead.
Was the hole in her stomach?
Your Honor, as you can clearly see from the witness's testimony, trace of necromancy was left by the witness, not my client. It's more clear that there was a physical wound on the body.
I see. Well,
his words trail off. He clearly doesn't want to pass a verdict when there's no clear culprit. He has no choice. The case against Wallace is predicated on Bellwether being killed by necromancy. Valerie's testimony, the prosecution doesn't have a shred of evidence implicating him.
Very well. The court sees no reason to prolong this trial. These new developments, the court has no choice but to find Wallace Nightgrave not...
Objection!
Of course that's gonna happen. I believe the court is ignoring one key detail of the witness's testimony. And what would that be, Miss Steelwind? Let's re-examine the witness's testimony. Valentina used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. Said that she was bleeding, so I cast mend wounds on her to close her wounds. But I was too late. I closed the hole in her stomach, but she was already dead. The communication device that Valentina Ianus used logs the time of day during each use. In this log, we know that Valentina used the device at 3:04 p.m. This was an hour after the time of death. Where are you going with this? Mr. Cuthbert, there was a witness who saw the victim before the body was found. Jan Hughes. He, along with another witness, spotted Bellwether walking in the hallways before the body was found.
I was cleaning the halls. Bellwether knocked over a vase. There's shards of dirt everywhere. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body.
20 to 30 minutes before the body was found. Do you see the discrepancy, Mr. Cuthbert?
Wait, that can't be right.
Bellwether died more than an hour before the body was found. So how did Jan see her a half an hour after her death? I wonder, Mr. Cuthbert, how could one make a dead body move and walk around?
No, you can't mean...
There was more than one piece of evidence that pointed to a necromancer committed the crime. The defendant murdered the victim and used necromancy to animate her corpse.
An undead? Created within the Imperial Academy? How reprehensible!
That's ridiculous! She had a hole in her stomach when the twins found her. Jan Hughes would have noticed that. Animate corpse stops the flow of blood, so she wouldn't have tracked blood anyway. The defendant is also proficient with illusion magic. He could have easily used an illusion spell to hide the undead Bellwether's wounds. But another party could have easily used illusion magic to disguise themselves as the victim. If that were true, how did they move the body to the classroom?
Miss Steelwind, if your theory is true, it would mean that the murder occurred elsewhere. Would the Inquisition happen to know where?
Regrettably, we do not. Then the prosecution's case against my client is still faulty. You can't convict my client without more evidence.
I agree with Mr. Cuthbert. These new developments, the court sees it fit to suspend the trial for the time being. We'll give law enforcement time to investigate these unknowns. Court proceedings for this case will resume tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned.
Hey, are you feeling okay? A body seen moving around an hour after death. Clearly it wasn't Bellwether. At the very least, she wasn't alive when this happened. So what was it?
Tyrion? There's illusion magic involved. There has to be. But which spell was it? Could it have been illusory disguise? Tyrion? Ah, what? You've been quiet since this trial ended. You're making me worried. Sorry. I was just thinking about what Steelwind said. You mean about her theory? It's a little creepy when you think about it. Do you really think someone turned the professor into an undead? I don't think so. The prosecution's case is hinged on one clear fact, that Wallace was the only high-level necromancer nearby. They assume that he's the only person capable of using that type of magic. But then how was she walking around? Don't know. Doesn't make any sense. It's a given that Wallace didn't touch the body, so we can discount the use of high-level necromancy. No matter what, someone used an illusion. Aren't there spells that can create freestanding illusions? Not just disguises? I honestly don't know. I need to talk to someone who knows about that type of magic. Wait, didn't Eris say that she was studying illusion magic? She might be able to tell us something. She might be able to tell us if something like that is possible. Is that really a good idea? What do you mean? What if she's the one who created the illusion? What? You're detecting fear from her again. Celeste, are you scared of Eris? What? No. I saw it this morning, too. You always get really scared when she's around. I thought I was doing a better job of hiding it. Sorry, it's not based on anything real, but for years, I've been working as a mercenary. When you do that kind of work, you build up an instinct to sense danger. You kind of have to if you want to stay alive. Sorry, never knew. Tyrion, I fought literal monsters and barely escaped with my life. I'm near Eris. None of these creatures come even close. Get this feeling. It's like I'm in front of a predator that I couldn't ever hope to beat. Every instinct I have tells me to run whenever she's close by. Really? She doesn't seem that dangerous. I know. I think maybe I'm anxious or something. I should know better than anyone not to judge people by their appearance. Sorry. Forget I said anything. If you think we should talk to her, then we should do that. Not one to discount Celeste's instincts. She's always been reliable. And if Eris is making her scared, that must mean something. And yeah, and whenever Eris is around, this weird glitchy effect happens. I wonder if she's responsible for it, not to it. But if Eris is really that dangerous, then that's all the more reason to talk to her. But aside from that, there was also something else that the prosecutor said. Mr. Cuthbert, there was a witness who saw the victim before the body was found, Jan Hughes. He, along with another witness, spotted Bellwether walking into the hallways before the body was found. She said, along with another witness. That means there was another witness that saw Bellwether walking around. Right. Jan probably isn't the most reliable witness. So talking to the other person might help us figure out what happened. But do you think Steelwind will tell us who that witness was? At this point, we won't lose anything by trying. In any case, looks like you have your work cut out for you. So, where should you start first? Alright, let's save. Alrighty, I think this should be a good place to stop. Yeah, we actually progressed pretty good in this case. And, well, as expected, there's still going to be a bit more investigation to do. We still need to talk to Eris and that other mysterious witness who saw the corpse that was walking around. If that was an actual corpse that was walking around.
Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching either live or via the archives. Tomorrow will be my first stream on Twitch. Yeah, so I've been contemplating about this for a long while, and I decided, you know what? Another platform wouldn't hurt in order to stream on. So I'm just going to do a short introduction. It's basically the same as the first stream that I had on YouTube 6 months ago. Just a little bit of the usual slide stuff that I showed earlier. It's not going to take too long. And then we're going to play a little bit of Granblue versus Rising. We're going to play a little bit more of Saurus because, you know, he was the first guy I actually played on stream when it came to playing Granblue versus Rising. So yeah, it'll be fun, I guess. It'll be fun to have an extra avenue, and we'll see how it goes. If the Twitch thing works well, then we'll probably do dual streams on both. But for now, I'm going to start by having one per week, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it'll go well. Anyway, guys, please take care of yourselves, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening, afternoon, or night. And I will see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.